Hey, so this is going up a little bit late, but I just want to talk about the recent announcements about the Dexter universe. They've announced a few new shows that I gotta say I am completely not very interested in. These are all shows that I'm gonna give a go, I suppose, but the thing about them is that nobody wants this. Nobody asked for this, nobody wants these shows. It's a bad idea. And Showtime, you are proving that you really don't know what the audience wants. It's not something that anybody has a huge amount of interest in, I would say. Even for those people who do want to watch these, even for people who do have a little bit of excitement for these things, even those people, I gotta say, you're not like absolutely keen for this, are you? Tell me if you are, but I don't know. I don't think anybody wants this, apart from the people that maybe do, good for you, but most people, I would say, do not want this. So the shows themselves include a Dexter prequel, which revolves around Dexter being a young teenager or whatever, or a little bit older than that, I think in his early 20s, because the show is supposedly about him joining Miami Metro and all that kind of stuff. It's about him meeting young versions of the characters that we all know from the original series. And it just sounds so unnecessary, man. It just sounds, I don't know, especially without Michael C. Hall. It's like, what's the point? He is Dexter. Nobody really wants Dexter without him. It seems like it's gonna be trying way too hard. They also emphasize that this is gonna have a teenage Deb in it, and Harry is still gonna be alive and all this stuff, as if that is like incentive to watch. But I don't know. I'm not interested in seeing a teenage Deb. Why would anybody be interested in that, to be honest? Nobody's gonna play the character like Jennifer Carpenter. Nobody's gonna embody the role of Harry quite as mystically as he was portrayed in the original series. It's just not something that anybody really wants. The second show, though, I have to mention is that apparently they are continuing Dexter New Blood now. After it was first announced that the show got cancelled, even though it was kind of always going to be a definitive ending when New Blood first entered, right? I'm not exactly sure, but they announced that they are possibly, at least, I'll see it when I believe it, but they're doing a new season of Dexter New Blood. Obviously, logically, it's going to be following Harrison, which is another thing that nobody wants. Everybody hates Harrison. Myself, not so much. I don't hate the character. I think he was well written enough and all that kind of stuff, but it's clear to say, if you go online, Harrison really rubbed people the wrong way. I'm the one with the unpopular opinion here. A lot of people strongly dislike Harrison. And though it's the logical way to go, because how else are you going to continue that story? It does make sense, I suppose, and I'm semi-interested in it, I guess. It's still something that obviously is not really the preferred way to go, and obviously Dexter's probably going to play his dark passenger or whatever, so that's a way that you can bring Michael C. Hall back, and that's fun, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of wish that, they explained that Dexter Morgan somehow miraculously survived getting shot and actually didn't die, and it's just a new season of Dexter New Blood with Dexter himself, and he's just getting away with everything once more somehow. Like through some convoluted way of explaining everything, he somehow explains his way out of all the happenings that happened, the things that occurred. He just gets away with everything, and somehow he's just alive, even though it makes no sense. This is what I would prefer, personally. But I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes. And then there is also another show that has been announced. But again, I'll believe it when I see it, because I do not think they'll follow through with this one. The other two maybe. Dexter Origins, which is its working title, as I mentioned before, may get made. I kind of do believe in that one. I think that's the one that has the most oomph to it. That's the one I believe in most in terms of existing, not in terms of being good. Dexter New Blood, maybe. This other one, which is Dexter spin-off, whatever you want to call it, Trinity Killer show. Yeah, it focuses on the Trinity Killer. And obviously, it's going to be like a flashback. It's going to be of the past, and it's going to be with, without John Lithgow as well. The whole without Michael C. Hall, without John Lithgow, without the actors that we actually care about playing these characters. It really just seems like they're asking to fail. But yeah, this is going to be a show apparently focused on the Trinity Killer in the past and how he got to the point where we see him in season 4. And again, this sounds like the absolute worst idea to me out of any of them, because we're not going to root for the Trinity Killer, and we know he's not going to get caught. There's going to be no tension in any way, and it's just going to be a sad, disgusting show of watching the Trinity Killer kill people. Also, the other thing is that while the Trinity Killer is easily one of the best killers on the entire show of Dexter, there's not much mystery left. We know everything about the character that we could possibly really care about. There's not much else that we need to find out. Yeah, sure, we can go from point A to B and see how he got there, but it's not really that interesting. There's not going to be that much tension. We know where he ends up, and there's just not really a reason reason to explore that apart from the character being popular. And they're like, ooh, this might be a good idea. It just, again, proves that I think they don't really understand what audiences want. The whole Trinity Killer thing, it kind of reminds me of like that show that's about Alfred, Batman's butler, that is out, maybe? Does that exist yet, or are they still making it? I don't know. I have no interest in it. Just like I don't have interest in the fucking Trinity Killer thing, just like I imagine most people don't. Yes, he's a great character in Dexter, but that was however many years ago that was. They're just not going to recapture it in the same way, especially if they have a different actor playing the character. It's just not a good idea. It's just clearly not a good idea. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Let me know. But these are the shows, and I'm struggling to care. I want to care. I love Dexter so much, but I'm just not that keen for these. I'm not that excited for these. I guess if I had to pick one, I'm the most excited for a continuation of Dexter New Blood, because that is the story. That's still part of the main, continuity, I suppose. So that's the closest to classic actual Dexter that we're going to get, even if Michael C. Hall only plays the Dark Passenger or isn't in it at all. Even if that's the case, at least it's still part of the same continuity. Any of these prequels and flashbacks and all that kind of stuff just seems completely unnecessary, uninteresting, won't have any tension, will just be pointless, will just be cash grabs or whatever you want to call it. It's just going to be a thing that they're like, well, that show was popular for a sec, let's try something else. It's going to run for one season and never again. It's going to get cancelled, and we all know it. So what's the point of investing in these shows that are clearly bad ideas when they are not going to last? And that's about all I have to say, I suppose. So yeah, let me know if you're excited. I guess I will give anything a go, and I'll be even maybe a little bit excited, with the hype and everything once these things actually come out. Maybe I'll be turned around, maybe I'll be convinced, and maybe I'll be somewhat excited. But at the moment, with just the announcements, they sound like completely shit ideas, and that's all I gotta say. Before you go, please do the thing. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit. And I'm outie. Goodbye.